welcome back to Out the Box Fancast. I'm your host, Barry 3D Carter, aka Pucky.
And I'm the other half, Rod C, aka Houston Jr.
Houston Jr., crazy man. Today we have a guest here with us. First guest we're ever having on the show. I'm super excited with this fellow comedian, Dave. Dave, introduce yourself.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Dave Sokolowski. I am a ton of fun entertainment.
Hell yeah. So hold on, before we go on, we start the show today, Dave. Where can they find you? Where can they find you on the net?
Yeah. They can find me everywhere. Twitter at A Ton of Fun. They can find me on Facebook, A Ton of Fun Entertainment. On my website, www.atonoffunint.com. And Instagram, all the popular places. And yeah, probably some places that I don't even know I'm available on. So,
Okay.
because it's the internet, and once you're on there, you're kind of like, why am I there?
Bootleggers.
Sweet! So in today's episode, we are broadcasting from the WOW warehouse, right? So Warehouse of Wonder comic book store in 3310 King Street East in Kitchener, Ontario. Place is huge.
Yeah.
We're gonna post some videos. We're gonna post some pictures.
Yeah, what you're seeing behind us is just like one section of this first floor, where there's another floor, and yeah, you're just comics upon comics, and like, if you have money to spend, please come.
Everything's on sale.
Yeah.
And I understand now why you call it WOW, because I walked in, I was like, wow. Like,
Oh yeah.
this place is cool. And yeah, it's phenomenal here. Like, it's worth the drive to Kitchener if you're not from here, because I'm not, and it is.
True that. Very true. So on today's episode, I'm excited, and this is the reason I wanted to have Dave on this, because he's got a passion for this character just like myself. We are talking about Cable, not cable TV. We're talking Cable from the X-Men. Nathan Dayspring, Nathan Summers, Cable, the ultimate badass around from the X-Men comic books. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. I'm there with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So, you know, Cable, I mean, I like Cable way back when he faced his first appearance in what was it, New Mutants?
New Mutants, yep.
Right on, New Mutants number 96, 97.
Yep.
Yeah, back in '86.
That's right.
Yep.
Right? And we're talking about, because we're going to get ahead of the curve on this one. He's coming out in the next Deadpool movie.
Oh, yeah.
Cable is coming in guaranteed.
Get yourself prepared, people.
Don't know who's playing him.
No, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get
I'm
to that.
hoping, but
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you explain your hashtag, Dave. Explain what you got going on.
well,
Right.
my main hashtag is hashtag Dave for Cable, because like everybody else, I went to go see Deadpool, and I sat there the first night with my wife, and we watched the end credits and everything else, and I was like, oh man, he did Ferris Bueller. That's so cool. Like, I love that part. And then I went back a couple of days later with a buddy of mine, and you know, he's talking about Deadpool 2, and he's talking about having Cable, and I'm like, oh man, you know what? That would be so cool to be able to play Cable. And my friend looked at me and goes, hey, remember that time you were an actor?
Flashback!
I was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess so. Because he was like, because he saw pictures of him, and he's like, no, you can pull it off. Like, you've got the face, you've got the gray hair and everything else. So from the neck up, yes, I think I think I'd make a great looking Cable.
I'm with you.
From the neck down, I still need a lot of work, but that's part of what the whole hashtag is. Like, I'm documenting the transformation, I guess, getting into shape to at least have an opportunity to play Cable.
And it'd be friggin' phenomenal.
Oh, it would be. I mean, like, you know, it's because Ryan Reynolds is 6'2",
Right?
so you need somebody taller than him for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely bigger frame-wise than Ryan Reynolds, so that kind of fits into the whole thing. Because, like, in the comics, they're listing Cable as, like, 6'8", 350, and it's like...
He's a monster.
I'm, like, at the time I was like, I'm 350, that'll be great. And I'm like, oh, I have to be in shape, that's what I said. so it was really just one of those things where I was kind of like, you know, okay, like, should I, shouldn't I, and what's the worst they're going to say? No. And I'm like, I've been turned down for, like, plenty of roles before, so this really isn't that big of a deal for me. But yeah, like, as soon as I heard he was coming, I was kind of like, all right, I guess I'm doing this now. So.
But think of it this way, even if you didn't get that role, and they say no, right? Doesn't mean that's the end of your journey.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of fan films out there, so have you thought about doing a fan film of Cable?
I have, but it's also, but the way I'm looking at it too is I mean, like, this is what I love about this genre now, is they say no for Cable, and I lose a ton of weight and I get into better shape.
Yeah.
You know, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist,
Right.
Punisher, Arrow, Flash, Defenders, Legends of Tomorrow, Constantine might be coming back, Supergirl. Like, there's so many shows that I could sit there and go, I've made this transformation. I can, you know,
I can step into a role somewhere.
I'll wear tights. I don't care. Like, I'll
Right.
even, and to be honest with you, and I mean, like, friends of mine, we've talked about it beforehand. It's been like, well, what if they put you in a full mask and nobody knows it's you? I'm like, I don't care.
Nope.
Like, if I'm in that genre, and because I love that genre, I don't care. Like, if my name comes up in the credits, I'll be like,
You know, today, true fans are going to go and look for you anyways, right?
Exactly.
So it's not the fact of wearing a mask. I mean, people, I think, are afraid of wearing masked actors years ago because, they won't see my face.
Yeah.
But the hardcore fans will know who you are. You
Correct.
go to a comic book convention, it's like, hey, man, you played so-and-so.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, like, it's the same thing with, like, the horror genres or anything else. Like,
Yep.
you know, you've got the guys that are playing Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and everything else. Or Texas, I can't remember what the guy's name from Texas Chainsaw, Leatherface.
Right, right.
You know, they know who these people are, like, without the prosthetics and the makeup and
Right.
everything else. So, I mean, like, you know, anything in this genre, if they were like, oh, yeah, you have to wear a mask, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
That's minor.
Yeah,
And I still
it
breathe
really
through it?
won't bother me.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
It's true. You know, let's and for the fans out there that don't know who Cable is or don't have enough information, right?
Right.
Let's get into some of the breakdowns with Cable. So Cable first showed up in 1986, as Dave said, right? Now, Cable was there even before that. So Cable is the son of Scott Summers, leader of the X-Men,
That's right.
Cyclops,
Yep.
and his mother is Madeline Pryor, who is a clone of Jean Grey, who is Phoenix from the X-Men.
Right.
see, now that's
Confusing.
where I keep forgetting that it was a clone. So I'm like,
Right.
everybody's like, who's Cable? And I'm like, he's technically Cyclops and Jean Grey's kid.
Yes.
And for the non-hardcore comic book people,
Right.
that's
They'll
usually
accept
like, oh, okay,
Right.
Yeah.
you know,
They'll
because
do
I keep
hardcore.
forgetting it's a clone too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Because Madeline Pryor had her own storyline. Madeline Pryor becomes the Goblin Queen because, you know, Scott gets with Madeline because Jean just ended up dying, being the Phoenix. She sacrificed herself,
Right.
gets killed, right? Scott goes back to the X-Men. He's all kind of
Depressed.
distraught, depressed.
Well,
He leaves the X-Men. He meets Madeline Pryor,
yeah.
who looks exactly like Jean Grey.
Freaks
Can't
him
explain
out.
it.
Yep.
Freaks him out. Gets with her, starts dating, right? This is a clone made by Mr. Sinister.
He's sinister,
Right.
people.
Right. So now he stays with her, and all of a sudden he sees that Jean Grey comes back.
Right.
But Madeline's pregnant.
Right.
So he does what? He pulls a Jerry Springer-ish episode kind of thing. He runs off.
Back to the original one.
Back to the original one. Leaves her barefoot and pregnant, Madeline. Madeline freaks out on this.
God, you're a scumbag.
can't understand why.
I don't know. He seems like a playboy to me. He's a stand-up gentleman there. So he freaks out, and, you know, and then she goes all kind of crazy.
Right.
And becomes the Goblin Queen. You know, and then he's got to sit there with Jean and explain to Jean why he's going out with her clone, who's trying to kill him, and then why they have a child together. So his love life was really a Jerry Springer episode for a couple of months.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
But, you know, while fighting Apocalypse at one point with X Factor, Cable, sorry, I call him Cable, but Nathan gets infected as a baby
Yep.
with a technovirus.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a person comes from the future that looks like Rachel Summers, part of the Scani, you know, religion or whatever it is from the future, that clan,
Right.
takes him to the future to save him, but they'll never see him again.
Are you willing to make that sacrifice?
Well, it's either he stays and dies or he goes and lives.
Save my boy. Take him.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I don't know. I'm a parent right now, and like to be
Yeah.
honest, if somebody was like, "We're going to take your kid, you're never going to see her again," I'm like, "Bye." She's
I'm
just
taking you out.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I love her, but I'll kill her.
You know, sometimes that's what it is. That's what it is, right? I got a child at home, and oh god, yeah, you know, she's 12 going on 18. But you know,
Mine's 5 going on 30. So
Come to you for advice.
teach me. So, goes to the future. This is what happens. But then at one point, now he comes back, changes his name. He's not Nathan Summers. He's Nathan Dayspring.
Right.
That was a hint when Rob Liefeld started writing this character. He goes, "It's a character you all know. His first name's Nathan, and he goes by Dayspring. If the day springs, summer,
is here. Summer is upon us.
pretty much."
well, yes, but when they also took him to the future, they weren't 100% sure, so they cloned him. Actually, did they not?
Yes, they did.
True.
Good point. Yes, they did. And this brings in Strife.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole Executioner song storyline with the X-Men. So Cable's got a lot of, even before just him coming back, had a lot of deep roots.
Yep.
And he kept fighting this one guy who had other mercenaries, hired the Wolf Pack that he used to have at the time, and it was guys called Tolliver, but Tolliver turned out to be Strife.
Yes.
Right.
His clone, and the two of them used to go head to head, and it was a whole mummy-daddy issues, daddy abandoned me.
But that was the thing that I always found interesting was, even though he was a clone, he didn't have, like, he was kind of like a clean version. He didn't have the
virus.
technovirus. So
That's right.
He actually has to wear armor, as opposed to Cable, who is part armor.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of like, but why is he wearing, if they're... oh, right. Okay, now I get it. Never mind.
Right.
I'm just telling you that right now, that's the most messed up family tree to follow.
Yeah.
You know, they need Ancestry.com.
When you're sitting around with your family at Thanksgiving or Christmas, just go, hey, we're not that bad, are we?
Not bad at all. You want to know? Read this arc. Get back to me.
But that's it. And then when Nathan comes back from the future, he's actually older than his dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from the future, he had his own kid,
Yep.
right? And he has his own life, leading the rebellion against Apocalypse, who is known in the comic books the comic book timeline as an external, which means you have the X gene, but you're also an eternal. You're immortal.
Right.
So there's a few externals. Cannonball from New Mutants is one of them, which they found out later on. So Cable comes back. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
All
the
right, never
X-Force. That's the X-Force comic book. So Cable comes in New Mutants near the end. Then there's a classic issue of New Mutants, issue 97, the first appearance of Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first time you see the two of them together. He beats him in a fight, right? Deadpool beats Cable, puts Cable in a box. No, sorry. Cable beats Deadpool, puts Deadpool in a box, and ships him off back to Tulliver, who is really Strife. And then says, we gotta make you guys tougher. Forget this whole New Mutants crap. You guys are not gonna be known as X-Force. We don't wait for the villains to come to us. We go and find them. Shoot first, ask questions later. That is Cable's mentality.
Oh, definitely.
Don't we love the man?
Well,
We do.
yeah. This is why him and Deadpool have a lot in common.
And but I mean, like, they work so well together. They're, like, because I always look at them as being like the classic comedy team, like Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy. It's always like, Cable's the straight man.
Right on?
Yes.
And Deadpool's just like the zany one that's going to be like,
You have no idea what's going to happen
do
in the
this.
next 20 minutes. Are you sure we should be doing this? I don't know. Play with electricity.
I just want to punch you now.
Yeah, come over here. What?
Which I think, and I mean, like, whoever plays Cable in the movie, I think if they can have that dynamic with Ryan Reynolds, that's going to be the key right there.
Yes.
The look and everything else, I think, can be altered through film or effects or anything like that. Of course. But it's going to be that dynamic back and forth with Ryan Reynolds that will actually make or break the movie, I think.
True enough.
Exactly, and that brings me to my next point. So, I know you want to play Cable. You got my vote. Now, there's two other actors that are running for this role right now. Right? Ron Perlman wants to play Cable. He says he's got the look. He wants to play Cable.
He actually posted a picture on his Facebook page with Cable was there, and then he was there, and he's like, I think I've got this. I've got the hair for it. And a mutual friend of Ron's and mine sent me the link, and he was like, hey, by the way, Perlman wants this too. And I'm like, that's nice. So I read the whole thing and everything else, and I have a picture up on my Facebook where it's me and Cable side by side and everything else. So I actually posted that on Ron Perlman's
We're doing good.
Oh,
page,
nice.
saying, I think I've got a pretty good shot at it too.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually wound up liking it.
What was the response? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, he actually was kind of like, yeah, okay. But I mean, like, the way I look at it too is, I mean, like, I've looked at my body of work and I've looked at his body of work, and I mean, like, if Hellboy wants to play Cable,
That's exactly where it kind of comes down to it. Hellboy kind of steps into the ring. It's like,
Ding ding.
ooh, this would be a good conversation.
And that's the thing. I mean, like, I like him as an actor. I think he's great and everything else. And I think he could have that back and forth with Ryan Reynolds, which will be really good.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, to be honest with you, I'd be sitting there going, yeah, he wants it. Go ahead. I'll be a stand-in. I don't care. Like, for that aspect, I'd be like, no, I'll be good for that. No.
You're good. Okay, we got this. Okay, so now, also, there's Stephen Lang, who played the General in Avatar, who's making a big push to play Cable also. He's almost played the role already to a certain degree in Avatar, being that hard-ass General.
See, but I mean, like, and not to say anything against Stephen Lang, because I don't know as much as his work as I do for Ron Perlman's.
Right.
But I don't know. He doesn't strike me as good to bounce off of Ryan Reynolds with. You know what I mean? And I think that would be the whole, the main part of the movie is that back and forth.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I don't see him being able to
have that dry wit.
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep him in line.
To be able to play that, you know. What was the movie I just saw with Ron Perlman and
Pacific?
No, it was 60s based Moonwalkers.
Oh right.
Him and Rupert Grint, the guy that played Ron Weasley.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. They're trying to fake the moon landing and everything else. I thought he was brilliant in that. He was able to play with comedy and everything else.
Right.
So that's why I think that, for playing Cable, I think he'd have a better shot at it than Stephen Lang. I think Stephen Lang looks great.
Right.
I think with, the makeup and the arm and everything else, yeah, I think he'd be definitely a good one. Mm-hmm. But I also, I don't know how tall he is. I don't know how much taller he is than Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds is 6'2".
Exactly.
Right. So, and you've got to be at least, 2 to 3 inches taller than him just to pull that
whole look off. Right. Yes.
Right. Because you can manipulate the cameras and everything else, but you still want to be able to have Ryan Reynolds be sitting there going, no, I'm telling you, this is what we should do.
Yeah, exactly. With his head, he's got to look up to the character. Yeah. He's got to look up to Cable. So now we know Deadpool Cable's happening. That's great. And I see what you're saying, because I see Ron Perlman with his quick wit, or more of a dry wit, I should say.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in Pacific Rim. I definitely see it in Hellboy.
Yeah.
When he does it. So my question is, if they do this Deadpool, well, not if, they are doing a Deadpool Cable movie.
Right.
Do you think that they would actually tease us with the idea of seeing Cyclops or even Madeline, or a mention of them in the movie? Because now you gotta reintroduce Cable into new audience. Last time you've seen him on TV in any way was the X-Men cartoon.
Well, I don't know about bringing that particular part of the dynamic in a Deadpool movie.
Well, right, but he did mention there'd be time travel in this movie.
Well, and here's the thing too. I think somehow Deadpool's going to bring it out.
Right.
There's going to be some line. It's probably just going to be one of those throwaway lines.
Probably.
And everything else where Deadpool's going to mention it. Just like in the first Deadpool movie, when Colossus is like, come on, we have to go talk to the professor. He's like, hey, McAvoy or Stewart, which one? This is so confusing. So, and I think that's what really works for the Deadpool movie is the fact that
he breaks that wall.
The comics, he'll break that wall.
Right.
He doesn't care about that. So the movies, they were like, we have to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And he's going to do that. So I don't see him stopping in the second movie.
Right. Well, if you're gonna bring it as like you said, like a throwaway line or just a quick nod to it, but actually going deep into that, I don't know. It'll be probably a smart, quick one, but then that's it. Just bring in and out.
No, but that's what I mean. He'll find out that Scott Summers is his dad and everything else, and he'll be like, "Oh, which one?" type thing, and
Right. Okay. You see, I see where you're going.
Something along that line where it's not going to go really deep into the whole, backstory and everything else.
Right.
I think they're going to touch on it and everything just so that everybody kind of gets up to speed.
It's true. Something's up, because he's got interactions with Scott's his dad, Madeline is his mom, Jean Grey is the original where the DNA came from Madeline, right?
Right.
So I think something has got to be mentioned with these people in showing connection. are they going to mention? Well, they can't really mention Apocalypse anymore, or they probably could. Because Apocalypse came with the last movie, and I know Ryan Reynolds might make some joke about Ivan Ooze or Apocalypse. You know, it's going to come out. Great, because Cable's main adversary is Apocalypse.
Right.
He probably will. I mean, like, again, it's going to be one of those. Excuse me. Like, I think I actually don't know for sure, but I thought Deadpool and X-Men were from the same studio.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So then they'll probably be able to flip and use Apocalypse,
Which would be awesome.
and everything else. But it will just be a matter of, like, I think the throwaway line with the professor was simply like, okay, well, this has all been brought back now. It's Days of Futures Past, and like they're younger, and now I don't understand where.
Right.
So that one is kind of like, you know, and you're breaking that fourth wall.
True.
Where it's kind of like, we know this is a movie, you know this is a movie, we're just acknowledging that you know this is a movie. Right? So,
Clumsy.
you know what? Just put it anywhere, it doesn't really matter.
Our producer just dropped something, a toy in the background. Breaking bite. No, I'm joking. I'll go well on my shelf. So now I love Cable. I mean, when Cable came out, I loved how Rob Liefeld drew him in the comic books. You know what I mean? And I know people like his style, some people don't like his style because of how he draws. In X-Force, the first couple of issues of X-Force, there was one that was a sideways issue where it crisscrossed with a Spider-Man storyline, and I like how he did that. You know, because he had this whole armor. So I want to know. I'm hoping for the gun-toting Cable. Right, because Cable comes out as a soldier, either as a gun-toting, he could be the leader-ish, or he could be the Messiah, because at one point he was a Messiah for Genosha, almost trying to turn away from the gun, using his powers more. Yeah. So which version do you think, or do you want to see in the Deadpool movie?
They're gonna go authentically. It's gonna come out. It should come out with the gun toting. He needs to come out with with shoulder pads.
Shots fired!
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's Deadpool, and I mean, like, if the original Deadpool, you know, I don't think he's gonna come out with the Hello Kitty bag full of guns, but he's gonna definitely come out with guns, you know, and everything else. Like, that's going to be
expected. He's gonna open up a
dynamic,
footstep
like
out back.
having it wasn't Genosha, but what was the kind of utopia that he made for himself?
Oh, that kind of island there was like Magneto's Island. I can't remember the name of it. It's not Westminster. I think that's Grey Mahulkin. That's from the X-Men. But he made his own island in the comic books.
Yeah, it was like his own paradise and everything else, where it was like a safety spot for
mutants
and so forth.
Right. See, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We can't remember everything here. If you remember it, just
brain only holds so much information.
But you know what I'm talking about. But yes. So my question is, did you want to see him at one point play that role of the pacifist, so to speak, trying to make peace, or because I'm all about guns blazing. Shoot first. I don't care about questions even asked. That's what I want to see.
I'm allergic to sulfur, but I don't mind smelling sulfur in the air.
I definitely think like the first appearance of Cable, like he'll probably come out guns blazing, and then somehow try to transform him into that peaceful, you know, Messiah type. No, I'm just gonna go away and, you know.
All right, so let me put this other question out here. So we're all still on Cable because we love the character. Would you rather see Cable come out in a Deadpool movie, or would you rather have his own series, like a Netflix kind of treatment, just on Cable? Because the character has a lot of history and a lot of connections in that mutant corner of the universe, right? You know, look at his parents. His parents are like mutant royalty, as I look at it. You know, look at his sister, who is Rachel Summers and who gets the power of Phoenix. He has a son that has powers and who ends up dying. He's connected with the New Mutants X-Force, and he tries to train them. So there's a lot there. I'm not sure it's all good, but Cable's another.
You have that dynamic there, and
right.
I think that would work better on Netflix, where you'd have more room to play. Because with movies, you've literally got to get, you know, you've got to start, you've got to have the conflict, and you have to resolve it.
Yeah,
you know,
within an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Whereas with the Netflix series, you've got 13 episodes to do that stuff.
To play it out with, right?
Right. So I think personally, I think that it will probably be better starting off with the movie and then moving it over if they want to.
No, right. So now you're a Cable fan. What storylines did you like from Cable? What You know, I like it when he first came in. I like when he first took over the New Warrior, the New Mutants. You know, and he got a more hardcore. They went up against the New Warriors. I like that aspect of Cable a lot more. When he got with, you know, there's a couple of issues where it was one issue where him, Bishop, and Wolverine teamed up. It was a very hard alliance. So that storyline in Executioner's Song.
Yeah, that's the one where I kind of like took notice of him and everything else. So I mean, like that was my introduction to Cable. So for me, it was like definitely. Like that's the one that will always stay with me. You know, it's kind of like that's the introduction. That's where I got to know him and everything else. And then after that, it was kind of like, okay, well, I'll go take a look at these, and I'll go take a look at these.
Right.
You know, so I mean, like, yeah, it was, you know, and then when Deadpool's coming out, I'm kind of like, oh, I wonder if they're going to put him in and everything else. Oh, he's not in this one. Okay, they put in Colossus. I don't know why they put in Colossus, but
Well,
they
that's
put in
it.
Colossus.
He was a weird one to put in that Deadpool movie. He's like Colossus of all people.
Yeah, but Ryan loved off Colossus and really felt that he wasn't done properly in the X-Men movie, so he said, I got to do it himself.
Well, and that was the thing, and I think with Deadpool, it was more Ryan Reynolds going, okay, you know what, they screwed up.
Unfortunately,
They screwed up Deadpool beforehand.
Oh, yeah!
Wolverine Origins. They've really misused Colossus in a lot of the X-Men stuff. You know, let me fix that.
Right. I have an opportunity. Let me just do it the best I can with the short amount of time and just slip him in.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it was. And more so like, because a lot of people were kind of like, well, why is Colossus there? Why isn't it Cable and everything else? And he was just kind of like, no, let's, you know, trust me, I've got ideas.
Right. I like
and everything else. And I mean, like,
right.
he worked to get Deadpool out for almost 10 years. So.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think if he's got the same creative team for Deadpool 2, which from everything that I've heard he does,
right,
smart.
You know, I don't see how they're gonna do it bad. Because he I don't think he'll allow that.
Very good. Definitely won't do it bad. I just know there's so much more of this character that I want to see out there. You know, transcendent media. I mean, I find some characters look better or come across better to me on film, right, than they do maybe in the comic books. Like, for example, and this is off subject, it's like look at Captain America, for example, right? Okay. Captain America is a book, okay, it was good. Captain America movies? Holy crap.
The new Captain America movies.
Yeah, not the original one.
Matt Salinger and Red Brown? You didn't like those ones?
What, Rebel? You know, the ones from the 70s, I mean, okay, that put it out there, and I can't even lie. I own those at home. We all know them, a throwback, right? And then the one where he came out when he was fighting the Red Skull, and the Red Skull was Sicilian, and he was in a rubber suit.
Oh, Red Skull's part of the mob? What? What?
Universal appeal!
I need to work.
What book was this in?
That's why they make a new universe. So I find some characters transcend, you know, and then there's other characters which are really great, and when they get on film, they're even better. Right. So I think when Cable comes on film, he'll get that much more better. I find some storylines when he was in the future, running away from Bishop because Bishop was trying to kill off this other little baby, which was Hope Summers. Yeah. That storyline. That. You know, I'm looking at Bishop, who I like. I'm looking at Cable, who I like. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys are putting them against each other. Does it make sense?
But I think that storyline there would actually work as like an opening Netflix series.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
To draw everybody in, to introduce those characters and everything else. Right. And just as the first series, like first season. Yeah. After that, you can go off and do, you know, countless other stories with them and everything else. But I think that story would be a good opener.
Nope, you're right. Like I said, my favorite, and I'll leave with this, my favorite one so far with Cable, it was a 2-issue miniseries by John Romita Jr., right? It was just 2 issues, and he did a whole Cable teaming up with the new Weapon X that he used to work with. He had Metal Arms, I can't remember his name, I'm drawing a blank. I'll put it on the webpage after I finish this, and we will look it up. But John Romita Jr. did only 2 issues, and he's got that classic pose of Cable, full armor, body, suit, everything on there with guns ready to go. And it goes back to Cable working with his mercenary team called the Wolf Pack. And then they had to change the name to Six Pack because it was copywritten, you know, Wolf Pack kind of thing because of Sable, Silver Sable, and the Wolf Pack. That storyline to me was hard hitting. It covered a lot in just those 2 issues by John Romero Jr. I think that's the best Cable storyline I've seen so far. Outside of, that's my top number 1. Then you would get in like Executioner's Song, and then you would get into this other stuff below that. But that for me, that's it for me personally.
No, but I mean, but that's the thing. There are so many. It's like any book you pick up. There's always going to be your favorites, my favorites, or Rod's favorites. So I mean, like it's one of those things where, especially in a series, I think that would go over better because then you can extend those storylines into seasons.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Because it just shows how they were trying to hunt him down at one point because they felt betrayed by him, and it's a whole story behind that. But that's my opinion about it. We're gonna leave you on this. My name is Barry 3D Carter.
This is I'm Rod C.
Dave Sokolowski, a ton of fun entertainment.
Right on, Dave. And where are you gonna be? Anything coming up soon, or?
That's a good question. What do I have coming up soon? I've got Brampton's Comedy Search, August 4th at the Rose Theatre in Brampton. Check out Crack Me Up Comedy for details on that. September 8th, I'm in the Brantford Comedy Festival Rising Star Competition at the Polish Hall.
Congratulations.
So check those out. And everywhere else, just look for me on my webpage or on Facebook. And I'll keep everybody posted.
Sweet. Oh, and what's the name of your podcast again?
Oh yeah, our podcast is it's called Nowelt, P-N-O-W-E-L-T. The podcast no one will ever listen to, and we mostly just talk about like all the geek stuff, like anything in the Berlanti-verse or comic books or Doctor Who stuff, science fiction. So anything that you technically find at a Comic-Con, we'll talk about. I know this week we're definitely going to be talking about the Killing Joke coming out. So.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. No spoilers there. So definitely take a listen to Dave's podcast. This is Out the Box Fancast. We're coming from Wow Comics in Kitchener. Once again, Barry 3D,
DJ Rod C.
Dave Sokolowski.
Peace.
Bro.